welcome, Whale Fam, to our Collector's Insight with Giannis Sourdis. Did I say your last name correctly?
Yeah, that was close.
Okay, it was close. He's the founder of Museum of NFT Art, and we're really excited to have him today to talk about how he got into collecting and to drop some wisdom on us. So, welcome, Yanni. We can call him John, he says.
Yeah.
Hi.
It's easier that way. Thank you so much for having me, by the way. It's really an honor to be here. I actually restarted my NFT journey through Whale, and I was actually really active a few months back. But then due to work, NFTs and crypto, I started spending less time
Via
on the
search.
server, but it's still one of the best places, to learn and talk about NFTs. And you guys do so much activities and stuff. It's a great place.
Oh, well, thank you. It's an honor to have you here. And actually, yeah, do you want to? My first question was going to be, how did you get into collecting? And could you tell us more about how you found the whale community and what that was like for you as you were educating yourself?
Sure. I mean, I started collecting NFTs back in 2018 when I first found out about Gods Unchained cards, GU. It it seemed like a very interesting concept because I used to play Hearthstone on my PC, and I love the concept of a trading card game that you could play online. But I was always bummed out that I couldn't actually sell those cards, or those cards weren't limited edition. So when I found out about GU and what those guys were doing, I was really excited, being able to have limited edition cards, use them in game, and actually trade them in the future. Although I've never sold any of those cards since then. Um, it was very interesting. Then I found out about marble cards, which was also a very nice project, very interesting. I dabbled a bit with that. Um, but for 2 years after that, due to the bear market and me being a bit inactive in the cryptocurrency space for some time, as I was kind of 24/7 in crypto from 2017 until late 2018, I stopped actually looking into NFTs that much for 2 years. So restarting my trading side hustle basically in mid 2020, um, I started looking into projects that are involved with NFTs, and I was lucky to stumble upon the Rarible token. I invested a bit into that, and that went very well, obviously. And through the profits I had from there, I decided I wanted to start collect some stuff on Rarible, and that's how it basically started. Very very soon after that, I found out about Whale Shark, and I was very intrigued about the way he collected NFTs and art. He's actually one of the people that I have as a benchmark when I collect NFTs and art. Um, it's him, it's Ed Young, it's Museum of Crypto Art, Mocha. Like, those are a few of the people that I looked up when I started collecting NFTs in 2020. So a bit after that, I bought a big bag of whale. I became a whale in the whale channel. Um, and it was a great experience being part of the server. I actually got some merch as well, and I still think the service is a great place to learn and talk about NFTs and all these activities, like I said before. So it was very interesting to learn a lot about NFTs, and you know, like, if I can say this, I got, I think, a really good taste in NFTs because of this group. So after a while, I started looking into other platforms like Maker's Place, Super Rare, Async Art, Nifty Gateway, and I started collecting slowly in each platform, and eventually ending up with over 1.3k NFTs in my wallet.
Wow.
Um, yeah, it kind of became like an addiction at some point, uh, a good addiction, I believe,
Yeah.
because it 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 was great. Like, for me, a great part about NFTs is I think the community is one of the best I've seen out there. There's always drama in like every community, but in crypto, I think in NFT specifically, it's a community where everyone likes to help each other and collab, and it's a very healthy community in my opinion. That's one of the things that drag me deeper uh, into the space. Um, Also, obviously, connecting with artists. I think that's my favorite part about collecting NFTs, because even if I haven't collected an art piece from a certain artist, they're always up to talking and opening and sharing, stuff about their life. I think that's the best part of collecting NFTs. Not only because obviously you're going to collect NFTs as an investment, you're going to collect NFTs because you just like something, but in the end of the day, the real deal about NFTs for me is the connections with collectors and other artists, and teams, obviously, of projects.
Yeah, definitely. It's what's different about collecting in this space is you get to create these authentic relationships and friendships with people from all over the world. And, even though you call it an addiction, your addiction is helping artists to have a livelihood and to continue to create and, like, maybe one day not have to have a muggle 9 to 5 job, and,
Yeah.
you know, they get to
I
be
mean,
fully
I
themselves.
can really connect with that, to be honest, because I when I finished my master's degree, I came back to Greece. I did my mandatory military service. That's when I actually had so much free time that I actually started investing in crypto back in 2017. Um, and I was always someone that didn't want to be and have a life where I would grind 24/7 and be an employee, if that doesn't sound very bad. But I always wanted to start my own um, either company or project, and I wanted to be financially free and in general be free. And I love that artists in NFTs are finally being compensated the proper way. It's not a very healthy, mentally mostly, lifestyle, trying to sell like physical art, posters, and stuff like that, because obviously it's not something that you can easily live off, if you know what I mean. Now with NFTs, I really believe that artists are getting what they're supposed to get. And this is the third part, which I'm very happy about with NFTs and that I'm involved with, because it's always very nice to collect a Hackatao or a Trevor Jones or a Pac or any of these OG big artists. But for me, the biggest journey was finding newer or smaller artists, being able to, help them get more exposure and shine, because I see a lot of potential in many artists out there, and I can understand how difficult it can be when you start and you don't have sales, and you can see people getting 3.5 million in a weekend. I mean, it can be discouraging, but in reality, it's something that should give them a boost to actually work more, get more exposure, network more, because even we like it, if we like it or if we don't, a big part of being an artist in NFTs is networking and having exposure on Twitter, mostly in social media. But yeah, I'm really happy about artists and small artists being able to, like, I don't know if you've seen this, but for example, Loopify, I think it was last month or early this month, said on Twitter that he paid his parents' mortgage, which is crazy. This is
Yeah,
like the
it's
stuff, I think.
beautiful.
But it is. It's very beautiful. And I think this is one of the best parts as well of NFTs, witnessing all these change and that people are actually gaining, you know, their own fate in their own hands.
Yeah, I saw that tweet. I got like emotional for them. I don't even know them personally, but I just,
Yeah,
it's a really beautiful thing what's happening. It feels really symbiotic, and I'm hoping that it continues that way. I actually noticed a question that feels relevant to ask right now from Flipmatic today. They asked if do you think we'll see an uptrend in pricing for future NFTs? And then I'm going to further add to that question. How do you think that's going to affect new new to the space artists, like artists who've never minted before?
mhm.
If there's an uptrend in pricing, does that also mean there's going to be an uptrend in gas? Yeah.
This is a very tricky question in my opinion, because I think obviously we know for a fact that OG artists and big artists will keep um, pricing in Ethereum, and they won't like change their prices to accommodate price changes in Ethereum. So like the big artists will continue selling for high prices, right? And obviously increasing those prices as time goes by. We've already seen that. Like it's crazy to me that um, X copy pieces were selling for $60 last year. It's crazy.
Yeah.
And you can see some people may think this is a bubble, NFTs are a bubble, but I think you can see it. I can see it even from my own Twitter analytics, that there's so many people flowing into NFTs, that this is not a bubble. This is real. This is happening. This is the future of collectibles and art. And I saw a very nice quote recently saying that NFTs capture um, culture more than anything, and preserve culture more than anything else I've seen until today. Um, so going back to prices, I think that there's always going to be an inflow of newer artists that are going to price their work fairly and low, and as they grow, they're going to increase their prices. I think everyone is starting and slowly increase their prices, even if they don't want to. Because, for example, in Super Air, I've seen artists that have sold a few pieces, and then suddenly a big whale or a big collector just comes in, a new collector, and just splurges a ton of money out of nowhere. So, for example, they might have been selling for like 3 ETH per piece, and suddenly someone came and paid 10 ETH per piece for no real reason. But in the end of the day, even that is something that takes prices high. um, so I think there's always going to be a pool of artists and art that are going to be affordable for people entering the space and people that are already in the space. But prices will be increasing, in my opinion, as more collectors, and especially bigger collectors, enter the space, which has been happening nonstop. It's been crazy.
Yeah, definitely. And I agree with you that this doesn't feel like it's a bubble. Even within the short time that like the NFT space has been alive, like there's patterns beginning to emerge with like cycles that not entirely predictable, but like it's becoming a thing, and as you said, it preserves the zeitgeist and the culture
Hmm.
more than anything else, so much more than memes. There's a paper trail behind it, where it came from, and where it's exchanged hands. It just makes so much sense. And I feel like we're still at the precipice of this, you know, evolution of like what NFTs are going to be, and like applications that we haven't even like conceived of yet.
Yeah,
You know.
for sure. I mean, we don't we really focus on the art collectible part of NFTs, but that's barely scratching the surface. I think even Mati, DCL blogger, actually talked about this recently. We there's there's so many people with great ideas of how to actually utilize NFTs outside of art, outside of collectibles, virtual land. There's a big use case for NFTs in DeFi, in e-commerce, insurance. Like there's so many stuff that are going to happen in the near near future. For example, this is not a plug, but there's a project called Boson Protocol, which is actually delving into NFTs and e-commerce and using the NFTs as a receipt of sorts. And basically, the NFTs exist until the package or the physical good is redeemed and delivered. It's a very interesting use case for NFTs, and there's going to be much more in the near future.
Yeah, it's really exciting time to be part of this world. And I mean, I feel like I'm late, but I know that, we're still pretty early, and yeah, it's just still ever evolving.
I really believe it's super early still. I mean, I really think anyone that entered the space in 2020, for me, is kind of an OG already. Because the NFT space, if we think about the crypto space, it moves so fast compared to real life. But the NFT space seems to go even faster than that. So I think that people that entered the space last year are still, in a way, OGs. All of us are very early to be here, in my opinion.
Yeah, definitely. And related to this, like being an early time, Lang, who always has awesome questions, he has three, but for now I'm going to ask, what is your biggest fear short term that could hurt the NFT market? And actually, it's two questions. And what indicators do you think we should look for if the NFT space is beginning to go into a bubble? Do you think that's even something predictable at this point?
I don't know if it's predictable, and I believe that it won't happen because of the inflow of people that are not in crypto and are getting into NFTs. So we've seen that with NBA Top Shot, with Flow, with basically platforms that allow, and Nifty Gateway, because there's platforms that allow people to easily manage their NFTs without knowing about crypto, without having to set up a wallet, by having an fiat on ramp so they can just use their credit card. Um, Having more of these types of websites and platforms and services, we're going to see a bigger inflow of people that are outside of crypto, that are going to enter the scene. Also, by having like people like Beeple and people like maybe singers or actors or whatever, people with a big following or YouTubers or whatever, enter the space. You're going to have people have no idea of crypto, but they will know NFTs. We are seeing this. So for me, this is a sign that this is not a bubble. This is actual retail people getting into NFTs. But it's really hard to say. Something that discouraged me recently was the whole hash masks uh, thing, because I saw a lot of people that were in crypto, even big names, get into hash masks without knowing how they work, what they are they on chain, are they whatever. They just like, even Kobe did like 100K or something on hash mask, which is insane. Um, but that was actually a bit scary, because when you just see people aping in NFTs without doing due diligence, research, learning about the space, and treating NFTs as ICO flipping like they did back in the day and they're redoing now, that was a bit scary, to be honest. I thought we were kind of topping, but I don't think we are. I think this is just the beginning because, like you said, there's so much more that are going to happen in NFTs. We're going to utilize NFTs in so many different ways. There's so many artists that are using NFTs for art in such nice ways. Like my most recent example is Fuck Renderverse. That was a very interesting use case for NFTs, and him actually creating his own universe. And you could own the planets. You could own like an NFT art piece, which is like a sculpture in those worlds. um, we're gonna see a lot of stuff, and I think big part of it is because also of the importance and how much it can evolve. And for me, that's a metaverse. That's gonna be a big reason NFTs aren't and won't be a bubble, because the metaverse is gonna be something so huge and something so daily for us, that NFTs are a part of, that we're not going to go into bubble.
Yeah, I feel the same. There's just so many use cases and so many different people getting into it. It feels like there's so much depth and breadth to what can be done that maybe if like I feel like if there's a bubble, it might be certain pockets of the space that may experience
Mm-hmm.
it. Um, but yeah, we have a lot of questions from chat, which is super awesome. That means people are curious and engaged. So I'm really
Yeah.
excited that you're all really present. That's awesome. Thank you guys. Um, so since we're talking about like the future of NFTs and this space becoming a bubble, Timmy asks, how do you feel about celebrities getting into the NFT space?
I'm not a huge fan. Like, I think on the one side, it's very opportunistic. It's something they just found out that they can probably make a lot of money fast from, and I understand why they're doing it. But from on the flip side, they're bringing NFTs to the attention of people that have no idea what NFTs are. And even if one person converts from a non-NFT guy to an NFT collector, or even an artist, I think that's a win. So I'm not very happy with that, but in the end of the day, if it gives exposure to the space and NFTs, I think that's a win for all of us.
Yeah, I agree. It's a double-edged sword because
Yeah.
it helps that we're getting mainstream attention, but at the same time, um, the mainstream attention, it could affect like everything that makes this space awesome. Like, uh, I'm not gonna. That's like a whole separate conversation, but I feel
Yeah.
like just it being this decentralized space, having the mainstream come into it, I feel like kind of threatens the culture of that in some way, but maybe not. It feels like maybe inherently this this world creates like a somewhat level playing field for everyone who wants to be part of it, I think.
I 100%, and that's what I was going to say. That obviously in crypto, it's the same thing, and it's the same thing in NFTs. And I don't want people thinking I'm talking about a closed club here, because it's definitely not a closed club. But if you really care, if you really dive deep, and if you're really making connections in an honest way, and you're active in the space, you're always going to be part of this club, or whatever you want to call it. There is no closed club. It's anyone who's genuine, who's true, who's a good person, and really is interested in the space is welcome, and they're gonna be how's it called? Um, they're gonna be welcomed for sure, for sure. People that are here to just make money fast and in a rude manner are going to be expelled, in my opinion, by the whole space, not just some particular people.
Yeah, I agree. There's something about this world that, oh, hi, there's a random person in CryptoVoxels. If anyone's watching my screen, I thought it would be cool to walk around.
No, that's me.
Mona, oh, that is you. Oh, hi.
It's not my. I think my wearables aren't working. That's sad.
I don't have any wearables, and mine is naked. So please excuse the intrusion, fam. um, actually, speaking of the metaverse, I have to go back into my questions from the chats. Um, Saint today is asking about your experience with the metaverse and where do you think it's going in the future?
Oh, that's a big one. I mean, I'll try to keep it short, but since I was 18 or probably 19, I'm not a big book guy, but if I like a book, I'm probably not going to let it down until I finish. One of those books was Ready Player One. It does not compare to the movie. It's probably the best book I've read in my life, for me. Uh, it it was amazing the whole metaverse concept. That was the first time I actually really got into the whole metaverse concept. And it was so good. The possibilities were endless in the book. And yeah, the retro references were amazing in the book, as someone said in the chat. It was the first time I actually started thinking about the metaverse, and it was the reason I actually started investing. I actually invested back in 2013 in Facebook, because they were making virtual reality social media, apparently, which still nothing is out. But that's how I started thinking about the metaverse as a concept, and I that was the first day I actually started really believing in the metaverse. So going forward many years to today, um, I really believe the metaverse, because it's one metaverse, is the future. One metaverse connected um, seamlessly, in my opinion, at some point, uh, is the future. Everything and anything can happen on the metaverse. There's a lot of people that are going against it, because obviously, you know, our lives are not supposed to be through a screen and, digitally only. But there's so much stuff that you cannot do in real life and you can do in the metaverse. Like, the most simple thing is obviously fly, build buildings and structures that are not physically possible in the real world. There's so much opportunity and possibilities in the metaverse, and really we haven't even touched like 0.1% of what is possible. um, I love how NFTs tie into the metaverse. I love how NFTs um, are are something you can show. You can show your ownership. You can show authenticity. You can display them in any way you want in the metaverse. I think I think the metaverse is one of the most important things of this century, in my opinion. I think some people might disagree, but for me, it's huge. And with virtual reality rigs becoming affordable to many more people, because obviously I didn't want to spend more than 1,000 on a rig back in the day, and now you can just buy a rig with $200. It's becoming, it's going towards where it's going to be. More people are using virtual reality, and not even like blockchain and metaverse and stuff, just VR chat and stuff like that, or just small mini games that are fun. um, so I think we're really, really at the beginning of the metaverse era, and like CryptoVoxels, Decentraland, Somnium, and all that stuff are the OG metaverses, in my opinion. I'm not putting in video games and stuff like that, because in these metaverses you can actually trade, you can buy, you can build whatever you want, and you have ownership. It's not just a video game where you own a skin or a fake patch of land that there is an infinite amount of in the world. There's scarcity, and I like that. I'm a big fan of CryptoVoxels, and I don't mind that it's more Minecrafty in a way, because it's more arty and it's more fun. And I think for me right now, it's the best place to be in the metaverse.
Yeah, CryptoVox is cool. And speaking of metaverses, I'm in trying to get into Decentraland and see um, the Narcissus Gallery too. I was
Hmm.
curious if you could talk more about
Yeah,
that relationship you have with them and what I'm looking at.
yeah. So one of the people that I first met when I got into crypto in 2017, like actively, was Akira. That's his nickname. Um, we're very good friends. We work on a lot of stuff together, and he was one of the first people that started an NFT project back in the day. There were some issues, and he never actually completed that project. It was a project that involved racing cars and Decentraland, but the tech back then was non-existent to host such a concept or a game, making it hard for it to actually materialize. So it didn't, sadly. But Akira is someone who is a real NFT OG. He's been there since day one, like even before Ethereum NFTs. Um, and he's a crypto OG for sure. And we're very good friends. So as we embarked on this NFT journey again together, we decided through 100x Art, which is a great group by Jamie Burke, um, to build a gallery together after an opportunity came up with the 100x Art district, which is an insane place in my opinion. Humbly, it's some of the best collectors in the space, some of the best artists, huge collections, and it's definitely a place to visit. I mean, um, touring the whole place, looking at Max Stell's gallery, looking at Goldra's gallery, looking at all the galleries was insane. But that's how we came into agreement basically to build Narcissus, which is Mona x Akira basically. Um, so that's how that came to be. We hired Polygonal Minds, Toxam, who is one of the best metaverse builders out there right now. You should definitely check them out. Um, they did an insane job on the gallery, like exactly what Dan mostly, because he was the creative mind in designing this whole gallery. Uh, Whatever Dan imagined, it came out 100%. So very happy with that. Very happy with the launch a few weeks ago. Everything was perfect. Yeah, basically that.
Yeah, it's like a whole other world to me. Like, I'm obviously, you see me like plodding along trying to get through the different spaces in CryptoVoxels and Decentraland. I'm a little like awkward
Like,
there,
yeah. The
but
thing with the Decentraland is it looks very polished, it looks very clean, very nice, but
yes.
it's not at all user friendly, because if you don't have a monster computer, you can't run it smoothly, right? Uh, Also, I remember when we were at the 100x Art district launch, we had around 200 people in the district, and everyone kept like crashing. So we're far away from anything being optimal or smooth, but it's a start. It's a start.
Yeah, I'm hoping soon that it becomes easy to host events without things crashing,
Hmm.
because it's like it would be such a cool concept, and especially in the last year with COVID and being in lockdown, like it would be amazing to be able to have like immersive art and music events in the metaverse without it being like a nightmare where
Yeah,
like it just
basically.
crashes and then like nobody gets to have any fun. um, but do you see that changing in like the next year, or do you think that's going to be something that's kind of slow going?
I think the more people enter NFTs, the more people show interest in NFTs, the more pressure on devs and teams to do more and do it faster. Um, I know uh, B. Nolan, for example, of CryptoVoxels, actually burned himself out working in CryptoVoxels, and every update there's a new issue, and that makes sense. But in the end of the day, yeah, I think it's going to be a bit of a slower procedure. But as more people show interest and buy and trade and sell and whatever, it's going to go a bit faster.
Yeah, I agree. um, so we have a lot of questions I'm going to catch up on. Uh, Lang was asking, I'm sorry, Rune today asked, what was your first NFT, and do you believe you've learned more since that first minting, or what have you learned, I should ask?
I mean, yeah, my first NFT collectible was Gods Unchained cards packs, basically. That was a long time ago. Obviously, I've learned a lot since then. Uh, but my first art NFT was August, I think, of 2020, when I bought a piece from Arch. It's like a Japanese themed piece, which I love Japanese culture, so instantly I wanted to acquire it. I've learned a lot. There's a process to learn what's going on, because obviously I started by just buying memes and stuff that looked funny and things that looked pleasing to me. um, I transitioned to started buying a bit more of OG crypto art, from crypto artists, OG crypto artists, um, and then transitioned to buying more stuff from newer and smaller artists. And then obviously, uh, I can't say that I have an investment thesis, because first of all, I don't look at NFTs as investments. I just like collecting them. I haven't sold many, and I'm not planning to sell many, because I'm here to stay. I think I don't think NFTs as something I'm just going to flip and make money. Uh, if I needed the money, I might have done it, but I don't really need the money. I'm doing this because I honestly like collecting NFTs and helping out artists. But if I had an investment thesis, it would be I would just buy stuff that are historically important, or serve as a souvenir of some event in crypto, or maybe even in real life. I like buying stuff that are memes. I like buying stuff that I think uh, NFTs from artists that, in my opinion, have potential, because they're very unique. Their style is very distinctive. Um, I'm also in love with Genesis pieces and collecting Genesis pieces. I think no paradigms is in the room, and he's one of the
Mm-hmm.
artists that have a Genesis piece, which I love. I love that piece. It's one of the best pieces in my collection. That one and Fuck Render's Genesis piece. It was funny because I had a lot of people from real life. I mean, here in Greece, tell me that, you're stupid for, and they were laughing at me, for buying pixels and JPEGs and PNGs online. But it's crazy that a lot of them are actually collecting NFTs now, and those who laughed are not laughing anymore, at least.
I was gonna say, who's laughing now? Like, you're laughing all the way to the bank if you wanted.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
um, that's really cool that you are trying to keep your NFTs too. It's interesting to hear different collectors' opinions. Some of them have like a mix between the two of seeing it as an investment. But I haven't heard someone say like I don't see NFTs as an investment. Like those are pretty strong statement. And
I
really
mean,
quick, I want.
I definitely see it as investment as well. I mean, I wouldn't have spent so much money on it if I didn't think it can be an investment as well. But I'm not betting on it as an investment. It's
Right.
like everything else, that all the other reasons I collect and buy NFTs are way heavier than just thinking of it as an investment.
Mhm.
I would not collect the way I collect if I thought it was an investment. I would collect way different. I would just go to Nifty Gateway, buy 20 open editions, and just flip them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and so because we had a specific question from Lang earlier, was asking what analytics do you use for NFT investments, but it sounds like, it's more of like a gut feeling if you enjoy it for whatever reason, visually or conceptually. Um,
It is. I mean, I would lie if I don't go and look at socials of an artist, following, which doesn't mean anything, but like I do look at the following of artists that they have on social media. I do look at, their work on websites, socials, or whatever. I try to find styles that, in my opinion, are distinctive. I have tried in the past to find styles that I think could, for example, fit in MoMA or a traditional museum. For example, um, Jonathan Wolfe is an artist that I think can end up in a big traditional museum. For example, his art style is one of my favorite in the space, to be honest. And I think he could like end up in something like MoMA. people, obviously, and not because of the quality of the art, because you can show someone people's art and he's gonna be, what is this, trash? But it's way deeper than that. And in my opinion, it's obviously not trash. Um, but yeah, you definitely do look at analytics at to some extent, but I'm not an art background guy. I'm not gonna pretend I'm some art expert. I'm not. I'm here to learn. That's why I follow so many great people on Twitter, that I learn a lot about art. For example, someone that has taught me a lot about traditional art is Axie King. Great guy, comes from the traditional art world, but has embraced NFTs to the max. Um, so yeah, definitely some analytics out there. Um, but I don't really look into analytics anymore. If I find a new artist that I didn't know about, I am going to go on their minting platforms and check out how often they mint. Do they mint too much? Do they mint only one of ones, or they do additions or whatever? I definitely will look at their past pricing when I make an offer, but um, it's not the most important thing, because if I do want something in the end of the day, I will, try to go for it.
Yeah, I hear that. That makes sense. And so when it comes to, you're saying you got your first NFT in 2020, where you collected your first NFT in April, you said August, I think. So, I mean, you have a lot of knowledge for somebody who, everything moves fast in this space, but it feels like
Mhm.
in just a few short months, you've created this museum of NFT art.
Mhm.
And so, what is your ultimate vision or goal with having created Mona? Like, what are you hoping to achieve by having that space?
Okay. I mean, the most basic function of Mona is obviously to display parts and hopefully all of my collection one day. What you see in CryptoVoxel right now is just the first part of the first part of a big plan. Um, I already own a lot of adjacent land near where the first installation of Mona is. Um, and it's something that I want to take my time to build, so it's exactly what I envisioned and exactly how I like it. But it's just like I said, it's I want to display my own collection. That's the first and basic layer. After that, obviously, I did want to host showcases, host events, which ultimately would bring exposure to the artists that were involved. And this is not something I want to do for money. It's more to help out artists. Um, another thing is, me and Loop are working on a project called the Incubator Project, where we want to get people that have never been in NFTs or have been in NFTs for a very small amount of time, and guide them, help them, set up wallets, help them set up, their profiles on minting platforms, socials, and basically guide them into the space, try to get them listed on better marketplaces, help them do collabs with other bigger artists and stuff like that. So there's a lot of stuff. We thought about doing auctions or doing art drops. There's so much potential with Mona, and I really done nothing with it until now, except maybe the Crypto Art Week Asia. I don't remember how it's called, and some other stuff. Uh, but but definitely planning to do a lot of stuff with it in the near future.
That's awesome. Yeah, I can't wait for the Metaverse to be able to host events like that. It sounds like, I feel like people have all these ideas to do something, and it's just kind of like on hold until
Hmm.
the technology catches up with our ideas. But it'll happen soon. Thankfully, things move very
Yeah.
quickly. Um, just backtracking a little bit, when you were
Hmm.
talking about how you look at artists, and whether or not they mint too often. We had a question from Mandel Sage asking how much is too much in terms of minting frequency.
I mean, I'm not someone who's going to dictate to artists what they're supposed to do in terms of minting, but in my humble opinion, um, I don't think artists should mint more than once per week, and that's a lot in my opinion. I'm not including drops where obviously they can drop two, three, four, five pieces at the same time and different editions, um, and all that stuff. But don't overflow your pages. That's a mistake a lot of smaller artists make. They just get excited, they mint too much, they suddenly have 20 unsold artworks, they start burning stuff, which I really hate. So it's better to pace yourself, take it slowly, see how much you're selling, how fast, and it's in at some point it's going to become natural to you. You're gonna find the flow. You're gonna establish a collector base. It takes time. You don't need to rush. The space will be here. You're gonna be here. If obviously if you're genuine and you're uh, you're good at what you're doing and you're passionate uh, at what you're doing. But yeah, don't start minting like crazy. I actually had this conversation last week with someone that entered the space like last week or 2 weeks ago, and they started just minting, 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 and I just told them just try not to
Chill, chill,
mint too
chill.
much. Yeah,
Yeah.
basically that. Yeah, but in a good way. It's not like if you want, you can not mint that much because in the end of the day, you're gonna be stuck with 10 to 20 unsold works. That's going to freak you out because it freaks all artists out in the beginning,
Mm-hmm.
and you're gonna start burning stuff, which for me is really wrong. Just I mean, I remember Hackatao with Coldy. They had a collab on Super Air with the glasses, the 3D glasses, which were the Coldy part, and then you had the Hackatao part, which was basically he had done his artwork on those glasses. I remember that they had gotten an offer which was pretty low for them, and they let that go on for like weeks, maybe months, and they finally got a 50 ETH offer. Like patience in this space pays,
Mm-hmm.
in my opinion.
Yeah, definitely. Um, and it's really easy to get like FOMO on things too in this space instead of just waiting and seeing in some cases, I think.
Hmm.
Um, so I have questions from the chat. We also had one more question regarding like, so you have your analytics for artists, but I see you have like a Top Shot collection.
Hmm.
Um, and so what factors would make you interested in investing in a particular collection like Top Shots or Avastars or even Crypto Kitties and things like that?
I mean, first of all, it's the IP. That I think that's one of the main reasons NBA Top Shot exploded. It's not because it's just you know NBA cards. There's IP behind it. It's official NBA NFTs. In the end of the day, they might not be managed by NBA, and the company doesn't belong to the NBA, but the IP is real, and that's what gives it value. So if we're talking about such projects, I'm not going to buy Pokemon cards which aren't like released by Nintendo or whoever makes
Mm-hmm.
Pokemon. Um, I want to collect real collectibles if it's like from a movie, franchise, video game, cartoon, or whatever anime. I do like and I do collect art which is based like in movies, culture, anime, and stuff like that. But if I'm looking for a collectible, I want I want it to have the proper IP. If we're talking about projects like Avatars, which I love, um, CryptoPunks and stuff like that, um, for me it's utility because we've seen a wave of collectibles the past 2 3 months. Everyone is just releasing collectibles. It's like the quirky Pepe or whatever. It's the I mean, one of my favorite collectibles, which is more art than collectible, is Christy Glass, the pixel
Mm,
cats. I love those.
mm.
I only have one, but I love those. Those don't have real utility, but they're fun, they're nice, and they were kind of some of the first of their kind. Now you have every artist making collectibles, and like Death himself has the crypto blobs, which I like. I haven't collected yet, but then you saw a lot of copycat projects like crypto pixel cars, crypto pixel dogs, crypto pixel whatever. It's like people are just repeating successful ideas. Like even today, you saw that crypto punks were literally copy pasted on the um, Binance chain, and people were pissed, obviously, because that
Right.
adds no value. It's just a copy paste of another project. So I do look at uniqueness. I do look into utility because many people obviously don't know that avatars have more utility than just looking at them. You're going to be able to breed up to five, I think five of them, or up to five to them, and get something called a replicant, which will have various attributes from those five avatars. And you're going to be able to create even more unique combinations. And if we're being honest, the biggest part of NFTs is uniqueness, because I think people inherently want to be unique. That's why people buy skins in video games. That's why people like buy random like different color cars and paint their cars like pink or whatever. People want to be different. It's an inherent need of humans, in my opinion. We want to stand out. We don't want to be the same as everyone. And NFTs is that. It's unique. All NFTs are unique, even if it's an addition, it's unique. There's not one NFT, even if it's the same NFT, doesn't equal another NFT. So just to end that
Mhm.
question, I look for very unique stuff and stuff that have utility if it's a collectible.
Yeah, that's a really good answer. I agree 1,000%. And actually, that kind of answers a question that we had from one of our viewers, Soraya Plarin. Um, they said, I'm finding it hard not to adapt my style to what is trending right now. And what advice do you have for beginners in the NFT world when trying to make their first sale while staying true to their traditional techniques? But I feel like you kind of answered that question. It's not really about chasing the theme
Hmm.
the theme of the day or the week, but
Yeah,
it's staying true to yourself. Like what's fun for you to create. That's what I think. You know.
exactly. I mean, you can tell if an artist is just, not every time, but you can tell if an artist is just trying too hard, if they're just pumping out content to sell, and if they're doing it for money. Um, for example, I was on Clubhouse yesterday, and someone in Beige's room said, "Oh, it was Mad Dog Jones actually." Mad Dog Jones said that stop, trying to like save your best work and trying to get with the trend of the time, and just keep pumping your best work out there. And every time you put your best work out there, try to outdo yourself the next time, because that's the way that you're going to become really successful. I mean, you saw that Mad Dog Jones had a 3.8 million dollar drop on Nifty Gateway, and he was actually explaining that he in his opinion that drop was his best drop ever for him.
Yeah.
So I mean, in the end of the day, try to be unique. I know it's not easy. You don't have to be 100% unique, but you can tell that the artists that are unique in their own way are memorable. There's so many artists that I can see an image and know that it's them just by looking at an image, because their style is distinct. For example, Odious. For example, who else? Hakata, obviously,
Hmm.
Oxygeno, Fuckrender, Jonathan Wolf. All these guys have such a distinct, like Christy Glass as well. They have such a distinct style, and it's such a nice style that obviously you want to collect their stuff. Um, so try to be unique. don't do this for the money. Do it because you like art and you like what you're doing, because that's the real way you're going to become successful, in my opinion.
Oh my gosh. Sorry, this discussion is serious. People are like, I'm gonna do the putt putt golf champions, or I'm
Yeah, I saw
starting
that.
starting new project bottom shots. I got a little distracted there. Um, so I can't believe we're already almost on the hour with like 4 minutes left. I don't know if you
Yeah.
have some time for some more questions from
I do. I'm free.
amazing.
This actually passed really. Time passed really fast. I didn't expect this.
I know. It's been really interesting listening to you, and thanks
Thank
for
you.
being so transparent about your process. Um, so I'm just gonna, excuse me, everyone watching. I've been trying to copy and paste questions and ask them as they're relevant during our conversation, and then I was saving the ones that didn't kind of jive with the conversation for last. So this is going to be maybe a little mixed up with how I ask the questions. But
Hmm.
so we have a question from Timmy. A lot of blockchains are being created nowadays, and they're also doing NFT projects within their own blockchains. Do you think NFTs in the Ethereum blockchain will still grow in the future, considering gas fees?
Yeah, that's a tough one. I mean, I really believe in Ethereum. I really believe in NFTs on Ethereum. I would prefer to collect on Ethereum because I really think it's here to stay. I do have my doubts about scaling. I always had my doubts about scaling. I'm not 100% sure Vitalik can solve scaling 100%. I'm not a fan of layer two solutions, just like Jimmy, for example, in the space, because I do believe that NFTs have to be on chain, they have to be immutable, they have to stand the test of time, and they have to be 100% complete. It's not just data and a token. The meta file and the metadata have to be on the token. That's my opinion. Like, if something is not on chain, I don't want to collect it. I might, but I don't want to collect it. So I'm a fan of other blockchains. Not many at the moment, only Flow. I don't like collecting on anything else. Maybe Wax for collectibles, like Bitcoin Origins. Amazing project, amazing artwork. But for now, it's just Flow. Something dedicated to NFTs, built because of the need of a specific blockchain for NFTs, which it can do DeFi and it can do other stuff. But a fast, safe, immutable blockchain is what we need. I know some people don't like Flow because it's centralized, but that is not that bad in my opinion. I am pro decentralization, but in the end of the day, it's a private blockchain that is going to live for a very long time because of the IP and the success and the mass media it can attract. Um, but yeah, definitely on chain, 100%. Really, I hate collecting anything that is not on chain. And after a lot of talks with Jimmy and some other NFT OGs, I really collect and try to collect on chain NFTs only.
Yeah, definitely. I agree. And I think that, um, I mean, hopefully Vitalik will be able to solve for evolving the Ethereum blockchain, so it works for everyone and keeps up with new blockchain technology as it evolves.
Hmm.
But I think so. Um, so then we have another question from No Paradigms. What are your opinions on private sales being minted on Super Rare?
I mean, I don't mind. I've done it myself. I actually had like commissions that were minted on Super Rare. I don't mind. I'm happy to have a bigger collection of Super Rare, and I don't think it's that bad. I know some people might say, but this, but that. But in the end of the day, if a collector loves a piece that exists and it's not minted and approaches the artist and asks if he could buy that, they agree on the price. it's minted on Super Rare or whatever, and he gets it, why is that bad? I mean, if there, I don't like the auctions being held and people talking with the artist and making deals while the auction is live, but it's completely different if you're just minting a piece that you asked for. It's not a piece that was out there and you just, you know, took it by force in a way. But yeah, I've done a lot of those, and I don't think they're bad. Uh, if I like a piece, I'm gonna ask about it. I'm gonna ask if it can be minted, how much the artist wants. I'm not gonna try to lowball him. Whatever the artist wants is what he thinks he deserves. So in the end of the day, if I don't have the ETH, I'm not gonna buy it. I'm not gonna ask for a lower price, even if it's outrageous. You know what I mean? But yeah.
Well, that is awesome. So I think somebody else's mic is on. Um, hold on a second. Okay, they're muted now. Sorry about that, guys. Um, also, that's awesome. I wish that more buyers and appreciators of art had that attitude. that if that's what the artist is asking for, then that's what they deserve. Um, yeah, I mean, it's rare to find that. And
I mean, so sorry for interrupting, but like, if for example I go on an artist Super Rare page, I see that all of his artwork has sold for like 1 Ethereum, and suddenly there was a collector. I'm not gonna talk who. I'm gonna say names, but if there's a collector that just goes and splashed 10 ETH for something that many collectors spent 1 ETH for, and after that the artist asks for 10 ETH, I'm not gonna give him for her or him 10 ETH because one collector doesn't change the whole landscape, and because there's whales out there that just have infinite amount of money and can just spend as much as they want, that doesn't mean that the space changes. It means there's someone that doesn't care about money or does due diligence, buy stuff because he can. So I'm not going to pay 10 ETH for something that so many other people paid 1 ETH just because one person paid 10 ETH. That's my opinion, and I'm talking about specific collected.
I mean, that makes sense too. So we have another question from Dab Dragon. What besides ETH is your favorite cryptocurrency?
That's a tough one. I don't. I mean, ETH. I don't know if ETH is my favorite cryptocurrency. I think Bitcoin is my favorite cryptocurrency. I like ETH. It's something I use every day. I haven't used my bank account in 3 years. I'm 100% on crypto. Um, so yeah, I like BTC's number one. Then for me, then it's like Ethereum and Polkadot. Polkadot, even though it's kind of a meme right now, I think it's the most legit like contender, because I don't like people claiming that something is the killer of something else. Like no one is the killer of Bitcoin, no one is the killer of ETH, but in the end of the day, Polkadot for me, and this is no financial advice, is going to take a big part of the Ethereum pie. It's basically the same people, not the same, but some of the same people that were in Ethereum. They're very serious. They know what they're doing. The tech is legit. The mechanics are legit. And I really think it's going to be a huge and legit ecosystem alongside Ethereum, because Ethereum is Ethereum. And if all goes well, scaling goes well, it's going to be the number two, in a way, blockchain for a long time.
Sorry, my mic was off. Great answer. Mandalay, Mandel Sage is asking, what is your opinion on Cordano?
No.
No comment.
Just no.
No.
No. No, not a fan. Not a fan. Not a fan of a blockchain that exists for like 3 years and they don't even have smart contracts on it already. I mean, it's something so basic, and nope, no smart contract. So yeah, Polkadot 100%, 100%. I would be interested in NFTs on Polkadot as well. I actually have a Substrate Punk just for the fun of it. Um, but yeah, no Cardano, no other stuff like Ethereum, Bitcoin, Polkadot is the holy trinity for me at this point in time, right?
Yeah, everything changes. Um, well, that's funny. Well, Nanosage said that made them feel better. They sold all of theirs, but they've been wanting to get back in. So that's nice that we gave someone
Yeah.
some peace of mind. um, so I'll let this be our last question, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So this is from Francescana. She asks, "What do you consider your greatest achievement so far?"
Oh, that stuff in NFTs.
Um, I mean, you can choose to answer that in multiple parts. It could be personal or, as a collector. Yeah, or in NFTs. Yeah.
I think just by basically helping out so many artists and knowing that even if I didn't buy or acquire a piece from them, I helped them in one way or another, either by getting listed on the marketplace or by giving them exposure or by showing other collectors their work and they buy their work. Um, Honestly, that for me, that's I think my biggest achievement, helping a lot of artists in the space. And I think most people in the space know that my DMs are open to talk about anything, NFT or non-related, because this is what the space is and is supposed to be. But yeah, I mean, I've had some like issues recently, and my DMs have piled up a lot. But I'm always open for DMs and talking with new artists or like artists that want to get into NFTs but have no idea what to do or how to do it. And like I said, that's why I really want to start this project with the incubator and new artists and all that stuff. So I think that's the best part for me in NFTs and my proudest thing of NFT. Also, sorry to all the artists, but owning the fuck render Genesis piece is my biggest achievement for me. This piece is like it's not the it's not necessarily the best looking piece in my collection. For me, it's one of the best, but being able to form a personal relationship with Fog Render Fred, who's one of the best guys I've met in my life, um, it's and for him to be his genesis, to be a piece that he's emotionally attached to, and all that stuff. I think that's one of the best parts of my NFT journey as well.
Would you be able to share a link to that for anyone who hasn't seen it?
Yeah, one sec.
Thanks. Um, yeah, it's really awesome that you have your DMs open for people to contact you. I mean, I'm sure you're you're getting a lot of messages now, but
Yeah,
uh, I think what makes this space so unique is that there's a lot of uh, people at the top, so to speak, who are really accessible and just generous with their knowledge. I think that's what helps make this universe like work for people. This NFT space.
exactly. I mean, people, and I'm not just saying this, but people like Whale Shark, Mocha, Mati, and like people that are kind of OGs in the space share knowledge and share their thoughts constantly, and it helps. It helps a lot for newer collectors and artists at the same time. I know that like big collectors like Goltra, Zonted, another big collectors had influences from Mocha and Whale Shark and all those OGs. So it's great having those guys around helping us navigate the space as beginners.
Yeah, yeah, it's true. And yeah, I agree, Dab Dragon. I love this piece that's up right now. The iridescent snakes, and I mean, it's just dope. Look, I think it does look awesome. Um, so, sorry, I got distracted by the.
No, I mean no, I like
It's mesmerizing.
a lot of people ask me what I do with my NFTs. I don't do anything with them. I literally just look at them every day, literally every day, all day, even if I'm at the office, even I'm at home, even if I'm not home, and I just like looking at my NFTs. in my collection and other people's collection. That's why I want to get mural, a digital frame, which I still haven't bought one, but yeah, definitely need one of those to showcase my NFTs IRL.
Yeah, for sure. It's nice to have it in like outside of your computer screen to look at like in your house. And
Yeah, yeah,
yeah, my dream would be to have multiple screens that are hanging up
yeah,
around my house, and just kind of have like a slideshow of what I have. I do
yeah.
not have over 1,000 NFTs yet, but one day hope to
Same,
get there.
exactly the same. I
Yeah.
mean, they're not cheap, and I might be spending a lot of like money on NFTs, but I'm really cheap in my life right now. I don't know why, because I just want to buy NFTs, and like my keyboard has been broken for 2 months now. I mean, I get duplicate letters, but NFTs are a priority right now.
That's so funny.
Yeah,
Um, well, this has been super fun, and just thank you for sharing everything that you know. I think that we got to all of our questions. If I didn't, you know, John's DMs are open.
hmm
And I just want to ask, do you have anything that you'd like to share with us that's coming up? Any new projects or
I mean,
events?
I wish I could, but there's so much stuff, and like I'm really swamped with my job. I'm really swamped with a few crypto ventures I'm actually starting now. I'm really swamped with all the NFT stuff. Like I'm at the point in my life where I really need a personal assistant, which is crazy. I never expected this to happen. But yeah, we do have a lot of stuff coming soon. Um, Maybe something music and NFT related, hip hop related, maybe. Me and Loop are looking to obviously continue doing the loop boxes, but we want to do it right. We want to do it professionally. We want to have a smart contract dedicated. We want to have a website. We already have some killer artists waiting for this to happen, and they're already signed up. Um, Maybe some of them are actually listening to this right now. I won't say who, but yeah. Mm, so yeah, Incubator as well. More showcases in the metaverses and the museums. Like a lot of stuff coming up. But yeah,
Well, okay, that sounds exciting, and it's a good problem to have that you think you need a personal assistant soon. That means some big stuff is happening, so that's exciting.
yeah.
Please feel free to share your updates with us. You can come into the off topic or general and share anything that's happening. Dab Dragon's asking, "Can I intern?" Yeah, I mean,
I mean, we are looking for like a project manager, me and a few other people for NFT and crypto related stuff. So if someone has the experience, hit me up, I guess.
you're about to get a flood of DMs from people like, "Let me help you." All right.
I mean,
Well,
no, really, really, we are looking. Me and Akira are looking for someone that can help us, get a load of from us for NFT and crypto related stuff. So definitely, if someone has a background, has is interested in something part time, yeah, definitely hit me up.
awesome, awesome. Well, thanks again for being here today and sharing authentically. We really appreciate it, and we're excited to hear what comes next. So keep us
Thank you.
posted.
Thank
And
you
thank.
so much for having me. It was actually great. I was a bit anxious, but it was very nice.
Oh, good. Yeah, I'm glad. I was gonna say like, no, don't be nervous. It's like very chill. So
Yeah.
yeah, I'm glad that we did this. It was a lot of fun. Thanks everybody. Thanks for your great questions and for your presence. And have a magical day, everybody. Bye.
Bye. Bye.